Just want to give you a quick video update on some conditions I'm finding on your instrument. A lot of these are typical to older instruments. Some are more related to it being a Steinway than its age. So Steinway is a very high tension instrument. A Steinway 9-foot concert piano holds 20 tons of pressure, and the Steinway tension standards really dictate what the industry did back before machine building lowered the bar for everybody. So the tension on the wire has some physical effects. I'm going to talk with my hands. The part of the wire that's moving is the speaking length. It starts at the tuning pin, then it goes underneath a pressure plate, over a pressure plate of the steel plate, and then you've got your speaking length. Those direction changes as it goes under the capo bar and over the pressure plate on the steel, the actual frame. Every time there's a direction change on the wire, there's latent motion that has to get out to the speaking length in order to really settle the wire. So the tension is automatically an issue. As the piano ages, the steel of the wire will embed itself onto the brass bar of the capo or onto the brass coated tip of the hump of the steel plate. So those friction points are made of different metals for a reason, so that they don't interfere with each other. When they were inventing the piano, they didn't have an electron microscope, but they did trust their experimenting. And what they found out is if you put steel against brass, there's full range of motion, but steel against steel is like trying to tune a zipper. As the piano ages, the steel embeds onto the brass surface or rubs brass into the steel, and you lose freedom of motion as far as like where do you want to settle the wire. That's on any older piano. Steinway's tension standards are so high that they have something called shouldering, which is when the steel wire, instead of being round, starts to turn into an oval under all this down-bearing tension. There's shouldering happening, and there's also that kind of crenellated tuning a zipper feeling where you want full range of motion, but you're really limited based on the physical attributes of the wire. And it's compounding because we're experiencing those limits in the mid-range, and we're building on top of those limits going into the high end. And so limits in the high end are built on limited mid-range. Furthermore, the shorter the wire, the actual physically smaller on that wire, the in-tune position is. So sometimes that crenellated limitation, physical limitation on the wire, is outside of what we want for the pitch. Unique to Steinway based on its tension and the shouldering that happens where the wire turns into an oval. Keep up on the damp chaser. You may have to replace those pads. Those are available online. The system is called the Damp Chaser. That's spelled with 2 P's, Damp Chaser. Your installation is on the back of the instrument. Try not to roll the piano if you're going to change those pads. Rolling the piano will scratch your floor. It will destabilize the tuning by all the jiggling, and then when you put it back, if it's not in exactly the same spot, it will detune the piano for the same reason. It's moving the piano detunes it when you go between houses. The piano has to settle to the floor. It actually twists to the foundation in order to be grounded. So I think you have sufficient room behind the instrument where you could find a way to get the old pads out. They should be changed annually. I think your system, based on the shape of the tanks and the number of pads, I think you need 4 instead of 2. The tanks are like deeper and narrower to fit in between the structural struts, and so the pads themselves are longer. You can order those. It's Damp Chaser with 2 P's, Damp Chaser. You can order those on Amazon and replace them. Just try not to move the piano. It's a pretty nice improvement. Trust your ear on when it's time to tune.